In the previous paragraph, we spoke about what happens to someone who is not looking for the wisdom behind everything in the world and not seeking that light, which is the wisdom in everything. And that person is likened to Esav, which is the opposite, the mirror opposite of Yaakov, his twin brother. Yaakov Avinu is the sun. He is the light of the face, of a wise face, who has always been looking for the wisdom and the light behind everything in this world. Esav is not looking for the wisdom. He's looking to express and to reveal into the world all the deepest, darkest impulses of his heart. And he is the symbol of the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, whereas Yaakov is the symbol of the Yetzer HaTov, the good inclination, that voice inside of us who's telling us to do good things, this impulse that wants to do good. That's Yaakov Avinu. And there's an impulse, which we call the Yetzer Hara, which there's this impulse in us telling us to do these things that we know we really shouldn't do. That is Esav. And now in the next paragraph, which is a bit longer, Rabbi Nachman speaks a little bit more about this dichotomy and how Esav and Yaakov is the Yetzer Hara and Yetzer HaTov, and how he's going to tie everything that we talked about in the previous 4 paragraphs together. V'zeh b'chinat Yetzer Tov v'Yetzer Hara. Esav and Yaakov, these mirror opposites, this is associated with the Yetzer Tov, the good inclination, and the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination. Ki ha-Yetzer Tov nikra misken v'chacham. The Yetzer Tov, the good inclination, is called a wise but poor guy. And this idiom, misken, it doesn't really mean, it means poor, but the way it's used in modern Hebrew is like, is a misken, what a poor guy, what a poor thing. So he's this little guy, like the little guy, the underdog kind of, but he's wise. And Rabbi Nachman is bringing this from a pasuk in Kohelet. Let me just finish off and then I'll bring the actual pasuk. So, Yetzer Tov Nikra Misken V'Chacham. He's called a poor guy but wise, Bechin Malchut. And this is associated with Malchut. We said earlier that Malchut, the Sphira of Malchut, the Sphira of kingdom, the lowest light in the tree of life, in the 10 Sphirot, is called the kingdom. And it has no light of its own. It's getting all the light from everything higher above. Kind of like a misken. The sphere of Malchut is kind of a poor guy. Has nothing of itself. She v'chinat ani'a v'dala, and she's associated with poverty. Kind of like what she's saying. What Rabbi Nachman is saying. The Yetzer Tov is misken v'chacham, wise but a poor guy. The late la migra miklum, and there's nothing of herself to give. She's receiving everything. She has a lot of light, but it's all the light that's receiving from higher above. This is the Yetzer Tov. This is the good inclination. Humble and knowing that we're getting everything from above and not trying to strive after any funny impulse that you have, any impulse, let's just go after that. That is not a wise thing to do. Instead, the good inclination is humble and knowing that everything is coming from above. She has nothing of herself, rather everything she has, she's receiving from chokhmah, from wisdom, from that light, from that life source, which is behind everything in the world. Now the opposite, the evil inclination. The evil inclination is called a king, an old king, and a silly king. Zaken uchsil. He's an old king and a silly king. So the Yetzer Tov is like a kid, misken, doesn't have any power of his own, but he's wise. and the king has the evil inclination is a king who's been in power for a long time, very powerful, but is stupid, is very unwise. And this is associated with Malchut Desitra Achra. We said earlier that Esav represents the Malchut Desitra Achra, the kingdom, the wicked kingdom, which is also, we brought the idea of the moon in its uncorrected state is also a symbol of the wicked kingdom. And the original pasuk, Rabbi Nachman is bringing from Kohelet, and what the whole pasuk is Tov Yeled Misken V'Chacham. In Likutei Moharan, he left out this extra word Yeled. Tov Yeled Misken V'Chacham. The Yetzer Torah, the Yetzer Tov is a poor kid, but he's wise, and he is better. You would rather be him rather than Mimelech Zaken Uchsil Asher Lo Yadali Zeher Od. He is in a better state than this king who is old in his ways already, and Ksil, and he's silly. Asher Lo Yadali Zeher Od, and he doesn't know how to be careful anymore. And in other Torot, Rabbi Nachman talks about this a lot, how it's so important to always be a young, have the neshama, have the soul of a small child. You must always wake up every day feeling like this is the first day of your life, that everything is fresh and new, and all those mistakes that you made through all those years, and all the times you disappointed yourself and disappointed other people, that didn't happen. Today is a new day. You are a small child without any blemishes, and this is the way to defeat the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is this old king. He's set in his ways, and he's silly, and he doesn't know how to be careful anymore. It means, I'm old, I don't have the power to fight my bad impulses. I'm just going to accept that that's the way I am, and I'm going to continue doing these silly things that are just so destructive and destroying my life and everybody else's life, chas v'shalom, and I'm never going to get any better. This is the Yetzer Hara talking to you. He is an old king that's set in his ways. He's so powerful. Those thoughts that he puts in your head are so powerful. They're so convincing. But if you are the small child and every day is completely new, he has no power over you, because this is your first day. You don't have this weight of all the mistakes you made on your back. And you can defeat the Yetzer Hara. You can defeat those evil impulses that are going on within you. And it's a beautiful thing that Rabbi Nachman talks about in another place, and he's only hinting at it here with this pasuk. But if you look at the pasuk, it's all there. If you look at that line in the book of Kohelet, it's all there. So this silly old king is a symbol of those impulses of the Yetzer Hara and the kingdom, the wicked kingdom, that is not interested in wisdom or intelligence. This silly person is not interested in understanding. He's just interested in fulfilling those impulses, and then there'll be another impulse that's even darker and more destructive, and so on and so on. So there's this fight going on within everybody, where there's this kingdom, this wicked kingdom, which is led by this evil old king who's set in his ways, and that's the Yetzer Hara, that's the evil inclination. And then there's the Malchut Dikdusha, there's this holy kingdom, and he's being led by the small child who is free of blemish, and everything is brand new, and everything is positive and holy. And that little kid has to fight and defeat this old man, this old king. And how do you do that? Rabbi Nachman already told us, but he's going to say it again, and now it's going to make more sense. Everyone has to give power. We have to give power to this holy Malchut, this holy kingdom, Litgaber, to fight and win over Malchut the Sitra Achra, to fight and win over the kingdom of the wicked kingdom. And we see this in the pasuk that Chazal, that our holy sages said, and it's David HaMelech who says in Sefer Tehillim. But in Masechet Brachot, in the Talmud, in the Masechet called Brachot, blessings, they give a drush on this pasuk. The pasuk is they say in Masechet Brachot, Leolam Yagiz Adam Yetzer Tov Al Yetzer Hara. We must always, the good inclination must always rage upon the evil inclination. It's a fight. What gives the holy kingdom this power to fight this this silly old king that's set in his ways is so powerful? What power do we have for this small child, which is the Yetzer Tov? What power does he have to fight this evil old king? Al Yedei HaTorah Shu Osek B'Choach. The power comes through learning Torah with koach, with power. That what Chazal means is sometimes you learn Torah and you just love the process so much, and sometimes you're tired, but you need to get that little quota of Torah in that day, and you don't have the energy, but you do it b'koach. You do it. You force yourself to do it. And that process of forcing yourself to learn that extra bit of Torah, even though you're a bit too tired, that moment is what destroys the power of the Yetzer Hara. Kamo she'amru Rabbotin zichronam livracha, just like Chazal, our sages say, it's David HaMelech. This is the pasuk that David HaMelech says, Lo'olam yargiz. That's the brachot. Lo'olam yargiz. The Chazal say, Lo mirgiz Adam Yetzer Tov Al Yetzer Hara, and Rabbi Nachman leaves out the actual pasuk, which is what David Melech says. David HaMelech says, Rigzu va'al tichtahu imru bilvavchem al mishkavchem v'domu sela. If you're reading along with me, this pasuk isn't found, but the sages are basing this part of Masechet Brachot on this pasuk. And what does it mean? Rigzu, rage. Your Yetzer Tov should rage against the Yetzer Hara, va'al tichtahu, and do not sin. Imu bilvavchem, say in your hearts, al mishkavchem, on your beds, v'domu sela. This is a pasuk that Ashkenazim, they say on Kriyat Shema, before you go to sleep. There's a special Kriyat Shema that you say, and this is one of the pasukim that you say because it says al mishkavchem, on your bed. Say this on your bed. This is an Eitzah. Chazal see this as advice for how to win over the Yetzer Hara. First, rigzu v'al tichtahu. Como Rabbi Nachman says, first rage against the Yetzer Hara. Just pure will. Just the will of the Yetzer Hara is stronger than the Yetzer. So the will of the good inclination is stronger than the bad inclination. But let's say it isn't. Let's say today the bad inclination is stronger. Remember, the Yetzer Hara is a malach. He's an angel, and we're just people. So the angel is usually stronger. So what do? Imum b'vavchem, say on your heart. And what Chazal say in Masechet Brachot is this is alluding to what do you say in your heart? Divrei Torah, words of Torah. So if your good impulses are stronger that day than the evil impulses, good, and then you go to sleep. But if not, learn Torah. And if you learn Torah, this is what's going to give power to Yetzer Tov. Rage against the Yetzer Hara. Im azel, if it works, mutav, great. V'im lav, but if it doesn't work, yasok b'torah b'koach. Even though you're tired, you're ready to go to sleep, you're on your bed, but you have these thoughts in your head. Okay, grab something to learn, and even though you don't have much power, you learn that, and that is a special Torah learning that is going to give power to the good inclination. And just like our sages say, if that gross guy, that disgusting guy, you meet up with him, and that gross guy is the Yetzer Hara, is the evil inclination, moshchehu leveit midrash. You know what you do? Say, come along, I'm going to the Beit Midrash to learn some Torah, come with me. And you drag him in, and you learn Torah with him, and it slaughters him. That's just the end of him. Ki ayadei Torah noten koch lemalchut kedusha. Why? Because he's the malchut, the sitra achra. He's the wicked kingdom. But learning Torah gives power to the holy kingdom, malchut kedusha, and that holy kingdom is then going to triumph over the evil kingdom. Why? Because shezinofel ki ayadei Torah haTorah noten koach lemalchut kedusha v'azai mekabel malchut shehi bechinet nun. And then the holy kingdom, which is associated with the letter nun, that nun receives chiyut min achochma. He receives the life force from the wisdom, shebechinet chet, which is associated with chet. We're going back to the nun and the chet. The nun, which is malchut, gets the life force from chochma, which is chet. And they come together, they join, and they're tied together. A chet v'nun, the chet and nun are tied together. And then the or levana, which is the light of the moon, which is the light of malchut, which is no light, it's only reflected light. Or chama, it becomes bright. It's a full moon, just as bright as the sun. When this rises, this falls. And there's a little asterisk. Next to v'zeh kam v'zeh nofel. When this rises, this falls. And a lot of times when there's an asterisk in Likutei Moharan, this is hinting. This is pointing towards the original manuscript. We have a written text. We have a typed text, but the real manuscript was written down. And often what happened was Rabbi Nachman wrote the notes down and gave them to Rabbi Natan, and his closest student, and Rabbi Natan compiled the book of Likutei Moharan. But sometimes what Rabbi Nachman did was he decided that there were certain secrets that were not to be revealed at this time, and he erased them, or he blotted them out or something, and gave Rabbi Natan the manuscript. And Rabbi Natan wanted to preserve the fact that Rabbi Nachman blotted something out. So in the typed Likutei Moharan, there's an asterisk showing that there was an extra word here, and Rabbi Nachman decided that this is not the time to reveal this secret. So what it is, I'm not sure. But what I can say is Kishazit Kam Zinofel is talking about Esav v'Yaakov. That Yaakov is Am Yisrael. He's the father of all Am Yisrael. The 12 tribes came from Yaakov Avinu. Hashem changed his name to Israel. Yaakov is Israel. Esav is the father, the spiritual father, and in this kind of secret way, it's hard to see it, but some Mefarshim talk about it. He's the physical father of Rome, which is the fourth kingdom, the fourth evil kingdom. There are 4 kingdoms. After the temple was destroyed, King Solomon's temple was destroyed, we were put into a captivity by the kingdom of Babylon. And then after Babylon was destroyed by Persia, and Persia was taken over by Greece, and Greece was taken over by Rome, and Rome, the remnants of Rome are still here today. And we consider ourselves still to be in this long galut, diaspora, caused by Rome. And we're coming back to Israel, and things are getting better and better, but there's still the remnants of this kingdom of Rome. And the spiritual and physical father of Rome is Esav. And they talk about this in the Gemara, that Israel and Rome are connected together. We're twin brothers, right? Yaakov and Esav are twin brothers. And ideally, they're supposed to work together. Esav was the body. He was supposed to be in charge of the physical world, and Yaakov is supposed to be in charge of the spiritual world. And they're supposed to be friends, and they're supposed to work together. But something happened, and Esav hates Yaakov and wanted to kill Yaakov. And what the Gemara says is, now in this faltered state, it's a kind of a war, and it's like there's a scale, a measuring scale, and when one is lower, the other one is higher. Was Shazinofel, it has to be that the one goes up. When this one goes down, the other one has to go up. That's the way a scale works. So if the Yetzer Tov is winning, the Yetzer Hara is automatically losing. Shazinofel, when this one goes up, the other one, Shazikam, when this one gets up, the other one goes down. There might be more secrets to this that Rabbi Nachman wrote originally, and then he blurred out what that is. We can only guess. Vazai nofel v'nit batil malchut rasha'a, and then the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, falls. V'nit batil, and he was obliterated. K'moshe katuv, ki yesharim darchei Hashem tzadikim yerchuvam ufoshim ikashluvam. Because the straight ways of Hashem, tzadikim, righteous ones, will walk in these ways. Ufoshim ikashluvam, but the wicked ones will get tripped up. Often, there's places in the Gemara, and Rabbi Nachman talks about this also in other places, that the Torah is sam chaim. It's a drug of life, sam chaim, drug of life, to those who are treating it properly. But those who are treating it improperly, it's some mavid. It is a poisonous drug. The Torah is the Torah is a poisonous drug if you use it improperly. It's a power. It's the wisdom behind everything. But if you're not studying it for the right reasons, if you're not studying in order to connect with that life force, which is Hashem, but instead you want to study it for power, to think people, so that people will think you're smart, or that you get power or honor, this is going to trip you up, like it trips up the wicked people. So Zenofel, Zekam Zenofel, this one rises up and this one goes down. I know a Torah. Hainu al yedei darchei Hashem, through the ways of Hashem, which is the Torah. Al yedei zeh tzadikim shedvekim b'malchut tikdusha, the righteous ones who are trying to become one with this righteous kingdom, and that righteous kingdom is going to get connected with the chet, right? The righteous kingdom is the noon, and it's going to connect with the chet, and it's going to receive the life force. Him nidchazkim u'mekablim koach al yedei zeh. They're going to get stronger, and they're going to get the power, the good power of the Torah into them. Ufoshim ikashluvam. But the wicked ones, this Torah is really going to trip them up. B'chinad malchut harasha'a. Like he's saying earlier, Rabbi Nachman says, you feel those evil impulses. First, your will should overcome. But if not, learn Torah b'koach. Why? Because that Torah is actually some of it to the wicked. It's actually going to destroy the Yetzer Hara. Shenofel v'nichna al yedei haTorah, because he is going to fall, and he is going to be subdued through the learning of the Torah. So there you have it. More detail is basically the first 4 paragraphs, but just bring it all together and getting a little bit deeper into it. And next paragraph, we're going to bring in a little bit more about the heart and how the heart ties into everything. Because the Yetzer Hara and the Torah, Yetzer Hara, Yetzer Tov, this battle is happening within the heart. So we're going to learn a little bit about what's going on in the heart. when the Chet and the Nun come together, and the Malchut Tiktusha, the Holy Kingdom, receives the holy light from Chokhmah, wisdom, and from Hashem.